Hello, I'm Cheryl Meyer, and I'm otherwise known as Cheryl M. Health Muse. And what my goal is to inspire you to lead a healthier life. So when I proposed my podcast, I proposed that we present it in two different segments. The first one is It Feels Good to Feel Good, Future Proof Your Health, where I get to share everything I have learned to return my health back to relative wellness and to live a pain-free life in spite of the fact that I have autoimmune disease. But the second part of my podcast is this episode, and that's Tell Me Your Story, the Health Muse is in. My concept with this is it's all fine and well that you hear me tell my story, but I get a lot of, it's all fine and well that it worked for you, but it's not going to work for me. And I wanted you to hear that there are lots of people out there that have made changes in their lifestyle that have supported their health and brought them back to relative wellness. We all have a couple things in common. We all owned our own health. Whatever the doctor was suggesting we did was going on a parallel path to us making these lifestyle changes where we did things that cleaned up our toxic load. We all pay attention to our body. You'll hear jazz in the background because I want you to listen to the rhythm of your health, and I want you to pay attention to what your body is telling you. My body had been trying to tell me that I was going to topple over into toxic load for some time. I just wasn't listening. So if you clean up your lifestyle and if you listen to your body, you have a very good chance not of being deprived in any way, but returning to feeling darn good. And that's what these podcasts are really all about. So thank you for joining me. This is going to be a Tell Me Your Story, the Health Muse is in episode, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that we all inspire you to lead a healthier, happier life. Thank you. Welcome to another edition of Tell Me Your Story, the Health Muse is in. I have a fascinating guest today who is actually trained as a medical doctor in Europe, emigrated to the United States, and then took a different route to being a holistic health coach because it was more in line with what she wanted to actually practice here in the United States. So welcome my guest, Larisa Sharipova, and I'm delighted to have her. We are both big believers in functional medicine, so this should be a fascinating conversation. Welcome, Larisa. It's really nice to have you here today.
Thank you for inviting me. My pleasure.
So why don't you tell us more about your story? At some point you got ill and that led you to becoming a medical doctor, or did you get ill after you were a medical doctor?
Yeah, I got ill after that. Well, I became a medical doctor a long time ago, about 20, over 25 years ago. And I think my mom probably influenced my choice of profession because all her life she worked in a medical field. She was a nurse practitioner in OBGYN. So I was hearing a lot of different things in the household. Also, when I was in elementary school, I have to wait for her to go home in her clinic. So I saw a lot of pregnant women and I was exposed to a lot of medicine and OBGYN field. So I chose my profession and I chose to go to medical school and become OBGYN myself. So we had a lot of conversation at home in the same field and we help each other.
And for people who are not familiar with where you live, that's part of Russia, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm from Russia.
I just wanted to clarify that because I don't know the name of the area that you're from, but I do know you're from Russia. So I wanted to point that out to everyone listening. Okay, yes. Keep going.
Yeah. So after become a OBGYN, I specialize in endocrinology. So it's another field of obstetrics and gynecology where we treat hormonal problem from infertility to menopause. So all kind of range of different. And in Russia, we train as integrative medicine practitioners. So we integrate besides medication, we integrate herbal and different modalities. So for me, it was the way of practice. When I moved to America, I wanted to continue and help people, particularly women, and become a doctor here. Um, I started studying for my medical boards and I passed my medical boards. While I was studying, I also work part-time and later full-time in a medical system. So I wanted to learn about the medical system. I started working in different capacities while I'm studying for my board. And I learned that American medical system is different from our medical system and modeled in Europe. And it's very commercialized, I would say. And for doctors to keep working and keep roof on their head, they have to make money. And the way to make money in America is to keep people in a chronic disease state. That's what I learned from working in the
Yeah,
system.
I don't disagree with you. I
Yes.
think it's unfortunate, and I think their intention is to help people, but what they learn is how to give pharmaceuticals. They don't learn how to actually get to the root cause if they're a conventional doctor. Medical schools are influenced and run by the pharmaceutical
Mhm.
companies. That's how they were started. All of that shocked me when I got sick myself.
Yeah.
And so their greatest source of information is their pharmaceutical rep. So that's why they listen to you, they hear you, they have the little pill come down the chute, and then you're on your way without you even going through the litany of things that you'd really like to talk to them about. You get about 6 minutes as an average appointment in the United States with your MD.
Yes, and unfortunately, but that's how they train because all medical schools sponsor again by big farmers. And that's the protocol. When I study for my board, that's what I had to learn. And that's what they test you for. What disease and what pill for each disease. And next step, if it's not pill, that's surgery. And I did pass all my boards, but when I realized like it wouldn't be in my integrity to practice that way. And I learned also that if you do not practice this way, first of all, insurance not going to cover if you prescribe something outside of box, outside of the protocol. And first of all, it's not going to cover. And secondly, you're going to be banished out of the community of doctors. They will see that you kind of weird doctor, that you prescribe probiotics or vitamins or lifestyle. And that's what I wanted to do for my clients and patients.
Now, I do want to
So,
comment that there are integrative
yeah.
physicians here that do integrate
Hmm.
other modalities into their practice. And there are functional doctors who look at the entire body and have integrated holistic approaches into their products. But they have become very good at figuring out either how to get that through insurance or they don't take insurance at all because it's very complicated. I do have a functional doctor that takes insurance, but she has a whiz kid as a medical biller who actually helped me figure out how I was going to get insurance to cover her. And that's what she does. She helps those functional doctors find ways that they can still cover with health insurance.
That's why I become a part of functional medicine practitioners. And this field become very popular later, particularly maybe last 10 years, and
Right.
particularly later years, it become more and more popular, and more doctors leave in conventional medicine and transition to functional medicine. Doctors who cannot practice anymore this way, who are struggle and stress because of the system they work in. So they leave conventional medicine and become functional medicine
And what
practitioner.
I discovered when I got sick, I didn't know what I was looking for, but I knew I was going to find it because my conventional doctor was just throwing steroids at me. I tripped into 19 different symposiums by the functional community. And what hit me at first was all the doctors, and there were multiple doctors in each of the 19 symposiums that were speaking, had gotten sick themselves
Yeah.
couldn't help themselves
Mm.
and had taken classes in functional medicine because they recognized that the way they were practicing medicine wasn't going to help them and it wasn't going to help anybody else. So they went back and got the additional training so that they could look at the whole body and treat the whole person. But it's still a very small percentage of our doctors that are out there that practice this.
Unfortunately, all doctors who I know listen and also interview for my summit, they all went through a sickness. They couldn't get help from conventional medicine, or their loved ones, or their patient that cannot get better and better with the way they practice. So that's why they take this difficult decision to leave the system and practice outside of the system. So, and I was also a victim of the conventional medicine and um, got sick while I was studying for my medical boards and work, and it was very stressful. And adjust to the new lifestyle here and the new cultures. So
Did you come here because you met someone that you wanted to marry, or what made you emigrate to the United States?
Well, I was already married, and my husband, ex-husband, he always wanted to move to America, and we just play a green card lottery, and we won. So I said we just meant to be here then, and we immigrated here. We were young and so adventurous, and we wanted to have a better future for our kids, and that's why we moved here. And I wanted to continue be a doctor, so. And when I decide to take a different approach, not only because I learn about the system, but also, as I said, I become sick. And I had multiple conditions, chronic conditions, but it wasn't diagnosable yet. So like exercise-induced asthma or migraines or GI problems, also infertility. And I was OBGYN myself, specializing in that. And couldn't get pregnant for 3 years. We were trying and went to the doctor specialist, and everything was in normal range, how doctors say. We took
Yeah.
all our
Well,
blood
but
tests.
normal
Yeah.
means all the people who are sick who took that test are the ones who are normal. So
Yeah.
that it doesn't mean that you don't have a problem when they tell you you're normal. And
Mhm.
you know how you feel. So I know you believe in having a conversation with your body on a regular basis. Don't let somebody tell you that there's nothing wrong with you. You're in your body. They can't feel you. You need to be asking yourself, how do you feel? And you need to be researching yourself so that you own your health. You have more power than you believe you have.
Yeah, and that was my message in my book that I published after I healed myself. So my story was that conventional medicine tried to fix me with hormones. It didn't work, and my insurance wasn't covering anymore. And as well, I have to find another way because I knew that I don't have any gross pathology in myself, everything in normal range, but my body uh, not conducive for pregnancy. So I started reading and learning, and I discover toxicity that can affect the body and the way we function, our body function. So toxicity affect everything, and I start to do detoxification. And first one, I went to 30 days detox program along with my husband, and next month we got pregnant. So I know it's a powerful when you remove something that your body is not supposed to have, your body fix itself and you can get
Right.
healed.
I
So
actually
yeah.
did get autoimmune disease, and I, because of listening to all these doctors,
Mm.
researched and eliminated hundreds of toxins from my life. That's what my first book is about. So we
Wow.
kind of had parallel paths that came to similar conclusions, but from different points of view. And I want people to realize there are toxins everywhere, and they're
Yeah.
impacting your entire physical and emotional being. So you need to be proactive and you need to start researching to get rid of all these toxic products. And then you need to detox them out of your body because it goes sort of that the toxins create inflammation. The inflammation creates one of the chronic diseases. And so, that's where we end up. We end up in the chronic disease category when we don't have to. We can start to eliminate and lower our toxic load.
Yeah, and when your body just toxic, it might not. When you go to doctors, so doctors say, well, you don't have anything, no problem, but your body's still toxic. Maybe in 10, 20 years, it will come up as a disease. And at that point, they can treat you with pill or with surgery. So there is a lot of time that you can try to eliminate toxins so body can heal before you get a label of disease. And at that point you have to do something about it, but there is a lot of things that you can do on your own. You can eliminate toxins from your house, from your body, and some of
From
them
your
we don't
food.
even think about it, but they're all over. That's why detoxification become a part of my life. I do detoxes twice, at least twice a year. So spring and fall, I go to different type of detoxes. So I started with 30 days. For 15, 16 years now, I'm detoxing all the time. So
Yeah, I have just started running sugar and processed food detoxing programs. And everybody was amazed at how quickly they lost their addiction to those foods.
yeah.
So I'm going to do them quarterly because I've decided that you have to detox off of those or you will never break the addiction and you'll never start eating what you're supposed to, which is all the fruits and vegetables, because they don't taste good and you want that other food and you keep getting called back to it. So
Mhm.
first we break the addiction and then we put the foundation of how you should be eating into place.
And I believe that sugar is the number one toxin that people exposed to on every day, in particular kids too.
Yeah, sugar impacts every organ in our bodies, but
Yeah.
we don't know that. And
Yeah.
it's
And
hidden in all of the processed foods that we are eating in our standard American diet, which is my new thing. You eat the standard American diet, you get a standard American disease like I did. You keep eating it, you get multiple standard American diseases. And if you keep going, you die the standard American death. And you don't want to go there. You start to clean up now and let your body do what it's supposed to do to keep you healthy, and it will talk to you. I was
yeah.
amazed at how smart my body was when I started to change.
Mhm. So when I heal myself, I wanted to learn more. So I went to Institute for Integrative Nutrition and become holistic health
Yep,
practitioner.
which is
So I
also where I went.
wanted, yeah, I wanted to continue help women, but in a lifestyle and nutrition kind of world. So I don't prescribe medication, but I help women to optimize their health through nutrition and lifestyle modification. And it's a first step that you can take to your health. And also, I wanted to share my message, and I published a book in 2016. It's called Listen to Your Body and Regain Your Health. So I teach women how to be intuitive, how to listen the body messages that our body sends us all the time. So my infertility was the call, was a message to my body that it wasn't clean enough to have a baby. If we have headaches or we have depression, anxiety, that's the messages that our body sends us. We need to do something about it. But most of the women, because we are so busy, we wear so many hats, we take care of everybody but not ourselves, we ignore it or we just cannot hear because of the toxicity, those messages. So, and that's what my program about, to educate women, to support them on their journey to become better for themselves, so take care of themselves and optimize their health.
You said that you started getting ill. Did you use lifestyle change to come back to health? Is that what happened?
Yes, and I think my most toxicity came from food when I start learning and realizing, because when we moved here, we continue cooked at home, because that's what we did back home.
Right.
We cook from scratch and we buy everything in supermarket, and you trust what you buy. And healthy food at that time, 25 years ago, we had much better food than we have now, but in Russia. But here, when we moved here, we continue buying food in the supermarkets and cooking at home. We went to restaurant just occasionally. So, and when I learned about toxins and how our FDA and government allowed those toxins be in our food, I was shocked. So I think
Yeah,
that
I
was
actually
the,
got
yeah.
angry. Why
Mm-hmm.
wasn't my government protecting me? But I came to the conclusion that we all need to join together. There was somebody, I don't know, I went 1 year later than you did to
Mm-hmm.
IIN, and they talked about Howard Lyman, who talked about being an army of one. And so my call to action is we all need to get together and stop buying this stuff, because that's the only way big food, big farm, and big agriculture are going to hear us. And in the 10 years since I've been researching, I have seen huge shifts. Not enough, but it has started to happen. But we have to own our own selves, because if we let them own it, big food doesn't care about us. They care about their profits. So they're literally putting things into their products to addict us that they know have no food value. So who's going to take care of that? You are, because you're going to make decisions to take care of you, and you're going to eat food for its phytonutrients.
And I
So,
think that would happen only if you love yourself enough. And
right.
that's what come from. Um, a lot of women just don't take care of themselves. They don't put enough love in their body. And sometimes we do changes that don't stay for long because we do changes from fear, not from love. So we're afraid to get a cancer, or we're afraid to have Alzheimer's disease. So we might try to change our lifestyle or nutrition. But if you do it from the love perspective, or I love my body because I want to have healthy and long life. So that's a different approach to changing a lifestyle, and that's more sustainable. And that's what I also
Yeah, and it's a change of
cover.
mindset. I just started a group for my second detox, and somebody said, I don't know if I can give up sugar. I don't know how this is going to impact me. I don't know that I'm going to want to eat these foods. And I said, why don't we start looking at this from, oh boy, I get to learn how to eat healthy. I'm going to learn how to give my body foods that are going to make my body feel great. You got to change your mindset, because you're not going to win if you keep thinking of what you're going to give up. Start thinking about what you're going to get, because
Yeah.
you get a lot.
And how in IAN they teach us crowding out. So you put good stuff on the plate, the space not enough for the bad food. So you just put in more and more better food and more nutritious, and there is no space for the
For the
junk food.
Yeah, right. Which doesn't give your body anything to function on,
Yeah.
which is why your body starts to get ill eventually. Your body does a terrific job until it can't.
Mhm.
And don't wait until it can't. Start being proactive and giving it the right stuff now, so that you don't go there.
Yeah, but also I notice when when I have clients, some of them come from the conventional medicine mindset, so they want one pill or even one supplement to fix everything. It's hard to change the habits, the bad and the good, but you have to change your mindset that it's gonna take you a long time or some time to change your habit, to change your nutrition, to change the way you eat or live. And it's not one pill or not one food. It's a lot of layers that you need to address, a lot of levels, and that's why I believe in holistic approach. So it's not only on a physical level that you just exercise, for example, but also on a biological level, on biochemical level, giving proper nutrition, also on a spiritual level, mental level, emotional, and energetic level. So until you address all these layers or levels, you're not gonna heal completely. So you might get
Yeah.
little better, but not completely. So
No, and you're not going to sustain it unless you're all in. You need to have a big enough why that you do it for the long run.
yeah.
I interviewed someone who'd had a heart attack at 42, and then he had a child. And he said the question he has always asked is, what was the magic pill? What did
Mhm.
you end up taking that healed your heart? And he said, the magic pill is you. There is no pharmaceutical that's going to give you a healthy heart, but you can have a healthy heart. But you have to do it, and you have to change your life and your lifestyle. And he said, I had a huge why. I have a beautiful new baby, and
Mhm.
I want to live long and thrive. And so think about that. How long do you want to live and feel good? Because you're the magic pill. There isn't such a thing as a pharmaceutical that's going to wave the magic wand over your head.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that is, and sometimes clients they want to change lifestyle, but they say, "Well, I'll try it." They don't completely believe that it can do that, do, do it for them. So they, "Well, I'll sign up for your program, but I'll try it." So if you don't believe that something can change, or if you don't believe that that would help you, it's not going to help you whatever you do. And if you're not willing to be engaged in your own healing, nobody can help you. And I tell sometimes clients, I wish I can eat for you, but you have to eat for yourself.
I love that because it's true.
Yeah. So it's hard work sometimes to change habits, but that's the way you can heal. So you need to be engaged. And when you go to conventional doctor, you don't need to be engaged. You just prescribe pill and you just follow that pill or whatever regimen. And that's when clients, when they come from that mindset, you have to change that mindset
Yeah.
for sure.
So think about your why. Why would you want to be well? What would it do for you? And do you even know if you feel lousy if you're listening out there? I get clients who really haven't even thought about how lousy they feel until they start feeling better. So that's why we both talk about have a conversation with yourself and then get quiet and listen. Because if you're not feeling good now, you will feel the difference when you start to eat differently. But you have to get in touch with your body now to know how you're really feeling. I was not in touch with my body when I got sick until the 2x4 came down and I had so much pain I couldn't move. So I wish I had paid attention to myself before that.
Unfortunately, that's the only reason people start changing their lifestyle, unfortunately. And I'm all about prevention. And in Russia, we do have huge prevention program, not only giving vaccines or doing mammogram or annual visit. We have a lot of different things that people are interested to prevent diseases. Why we practice different way? Because in Russia, we have social medicine. So for that, and in my time, we were on a salary. So it doesn't matter how many patients you see, you have the same salary. So for our interest was the less patient you see, the better, because you're not as busy. And our goal was to treat a patient, to heal the patient so they don't come back. But he is opposite. So if you heal somebody and they're not coming back, you're not gonna get money because insurance won't gonna pay, and you need money to live. So I
Yeah.
think until we change our model here, commercialized medicine would never change. Our mentality would never change, and doctors don't want to change it because that's how they used to, and that's how they have their lifestyle and their salary, their money.
Right, I know. But I had hoped that functional medicine would be the future. But since they don't always prescribe the pill first, there's not as much money in it. And so I don't know. But anybody out there listening, take a look at functional medicine. You can find a practitioner by going to ifm.org, or talking. What you want is somebody who practices root cause medicine, whether they're a health coach or a doctor, whatever it is. You want to talk. That's the question you want to ask. Are you going to help me find the root cause and then try to find solutions for what's wrong at that level? A conventional doctor doesn't even begin to care about what the root cause is. They want to take the symptom and treat it. And they're not
Don't
really treating the symptom, they're masking the symptom.
Yeah, band-aid, put in band-aid. And you, when you go to doctor, any doctor always ask why. Why do I have this? Or why I feel this way? But usually conventional doctors say, oh, we just don't know. Or you're just lucky. Or you just have a, gene or something like that. They never gonna investigate. I even had my own experience. I went to um, oncologist, hematologist. I had some issues with my blood work. So when I went, and I had anemia, and I went to a hematologist, she said, well, I can prescribe you iron. in intravenous, so you can buy over the counter. I said, well, you don't wanna know why I have a low iron? She said, no, I'm not investigator. I said, okay, so I don't need your prescription. And just left. It was so devastating. I said, okay, I gonna investigate myself why I have low iron, and I did investigate it. And after I did heavy metal detoxification, my iron went back to normal. So yeah, it's just simple things that sometimes you don't even think about, but everything is happening for a reason in the body, and
Right.
that's another message that something was wrong with my body. So yeah.
Yeah, all of the, your body doesn't speak in a language, it speaks in symptoms.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that you have the symptoms, which is why we both believe in root cause medicine, because you want to find out what's causing the symptom that your body's speaking in. And then you want your body not to need to speak in that anymore. You want to find the real solution for the root cause. You don't want to just mask whatever the symptom is.
Mhm.
So it's a totally different approach.
Yes. So functional medicine way to go. Sometimes they call integrative medicine, and I see a lot of medical centers opening integrative medicine centers. But sometimes it's not what you think, because now it's
Yeah.
become so popular. So the big medical system opening those integrative centers, but they just bring specialists in one place and they call it integrative. But really, they do not practice lifestyle medicine as functional medicine practice. So it's
So
a little bit
yeah.
different. So do your homework and investigate, and ask them if they were trained by Institute for Functional Medicine or Lifestyle Institute. There is another organization that train doctors. So there is there's a lot of homework you can do and find out everything is
And
online
it's worth
now.
it to do it
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
yeah, I believe that my functional doctor saved my life. And she didn't run one test similar to my conventional doctor. It was
Unfortunately, it doesn't
interesting.
unfortunately it doesn't covered by insurance, those functional medicine tests. But they can, the functional medicine doctor, they're willing to work with your insurance company, and sometimes they find a lot of tests that you can run through the insurance. So even from big companies like LabCorp and Quest, they do a lot of things that functional medicine can prescribe and yeah, offer for you. But on another hand, a lot of tests are not covered by insurance, and they're very valuable tests that conventional medicine would never find it or look for it. Yeah,
And
like.
they just look at the body differently. It's
Hmm.
hard to explain. As
Yeah,
an example, my thyroid was checked from here to here by my conventional doctor. It wasn't broken there. It was broken from here to my adrenals.
yeah.
My functional doctor ran the test that found that. So had I stayed with conventional, I would be on a synthetic thyroid that I didn't need because that wasn't where I was broken.
And it would be for the rest of your life,
Yeah,
Synthroid or something like that.
right.
Yeah.
And instead, I'm on a compounded thyroid that fixes the broken link that goes from here to my adrenals.
Mhm.
And it's much easier on my body. It's natural and it's fantastic. And I feel great. So it's just different. They look at the body differently.
Yeah, I have another example of that about thyroid and synthroid. At one point in my life, I worked in a pathology lab in a hospital, and we had oncology conference. It's kind of pathologists and internal medicine doctors get together and we discuss cases. So one of the criminologists talked about a thyroid case and said that he prescribed Synthroid, and pathologist asks how long patient would be on Synthroid, and he said, "Well, for the rest of his life, it's job security." So he said it's a job security prescribing, because if you on a medication, you have to see doctor who prescribed that medication on a regular basis. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
All of those magic pills that are getting prescribed, and I say magic in quotes,
yeah.
they do some, they have gifts, but they also do things to the body that take away from the body. So research the pills that your doctor is offering to you as well, and then go back and have a robust conversation with him about what the impact of taking this pill is going to be. I have a book that I love by Susie Cohen. She is a syndicated columnist who's a pharmacist and functionally trained, and it's called Drug Muggers. And it'll tell you if you are taking like metformin for diabetes, this is what it's taking away from your body. So you need to be aware, if you are going to take that medication, you need to be taking magnesium. You need to be taking things that balance off the impact of that drug. Your conventional doctor is not going to tell you that, but you can find that information and you can take care of your own body.
And it's called informed consent. It's simple, informed consent. So every doctor who prescribes anything, they should tell patient everything that can happen or not happen by taking that medication. And that's called informed consent. That is not practiced in our medicine, prescribed by prescription medication or going to surgery. How it's going to affect you in the long run if I remove your gallbladder? Nobody talk about it. Or you have a gallstone, you need remove your gallbladder, and what's happened after that? Who is
Yeah.
going to take care of the place of the gallbladder? One time
Well,
I
there
asked,
are no throwaway body parts.
right,
That part was fascinating to me. If I was young, I'd go back and be a biochemist. You need your gallbladder, gang.
yeah.
Don't let somebody just say you've got gallstones, we're going to take it away, because it's not a throwaway part. And it causes all kinds of complications if they take it out. And there are ways to deal with those gallbladder stones naturally without losing your organ. There's
And
also use for your appendix, by the way. I lost mine in my 20s,
yeah,
but that stores all your original probiotics in
and
case you need them again.
and also your it's a part of lymphatic. And interesting about gallbladders, it's a number one surgery in America, number one. And they don't tell you what you're going to do after organ remove. How are you going to change your diet? Are you going to take bitters that stimulate bile production? What's happened after that? Nothing. Not informed
And you need
consent.
the functions that your gallbladder does, because it processes the oil and
Yeah.
the oil-based vitamins so that your body can use them. So if you don't have a gallbladder, you don't have anything doing that.
So
So
you store more toxins because it's one of the part of detoxification, and also you have nutrient deficiency because of the fatty vitamins and other things. Yeah.
yeah, so it's insanity, but don't just, I have a thing that I came from retail. I was a store manager in retail, and we went through a course where we talked about the who saids of the greatest magnitude. We give all our power to them because they're God, they know everything. So if he said so, I'm just going to do it. Well, guess what? Your doctor is not the who said of the greatest magnitude. You are for your body. So yes, we need our doctors, but go back and research and own your own health, and then go back to him and have robust conversations about what you learned. He'll be shocked because you're going to tell him things he doesn't know, but you need to have that robust conversation, and you guys need to be partners in any decisions about your body, because otherwise you're headed for trouble.
Well, for sure. Be an advocate for yourself. Or
Right,
if you cannot be advocate, find somebody who can be advocate for yourself.
right.
Yeah, for you. Hmm.
So you're an interesting health coach in that you are actually trained as a medical doctor as well, and you have a holistic medical background. So you cover all aspects, even though you can't actually practice medicine because you decided not to get your
Right.
licensure to do
Yeah.
that.
And
But
I
you,
think it's a good thing because I know a lot of doctors who don't want to have a license anymore to practice medicine because they don't practice the way the conventional medicine practice. So, and a lot of doctors were prosecuted because they had license, but they didn't want to practice the way. So they were practice outside of the system.
yeah,
So
there was a very
I'm,
famous guy who was curing
yeah,
cancer who they went after.
Nicholas Gonzalez.
Um, no, it was somebody else that was in Texas. but he was in the middle of treating a 17-year-old who actually went in front of the judge and said, "Give me a break. I am halfway through the therapy and
Brodzinski.
it's working." Barzinski, right.
Yeah,
And it's
Brodzinski
working.
case. Hmm.
Yeah. And they're scared of people who can do things outside of the conventional way. And so they try to snuff them down. But you can find out what the protocols are that these people are utilizing, and you can research it, and you can reach out to people who do utilize it in some way. So don't be afraid to get out there and research. There are alternative ways that you can heal yourself.
For sure. Yes.
So you did run a summit where you brought a lot of functional people together. You're doing twice a year detoxes?
For myself, I do twice a year, and I take a group of people also for detoxes. So, like a group coaching detox. Sometimes it's 28 days detox, sometimes it's 3 months detox. Depends. And also personal, when I work with clients, detox is always part of my program when I take a client. Yes. And my summit was Rebuild Your Health Summit. So it's how we overcome a lot of different chronic conditions. And I interviewed a lot of functional medicine practitioners. So they shared their own stories, how they become functional medicine practitioners, and the way they
Is your
practice.
summit available on your website? Could people go find some of the conversations?
You can still buy a summit, because when I ran it was free summit. So now it's still available on the web. It's Rebuild Your Health Summit. You can find so and also on my website, and you can find a book on my website and a lot of programs that I run. I have online programs and personal coaching programs.
Okay.
And also recently I started a new, not I started interested in a new field. It's epigenetics, and epigenetics, it's a new field that is very fascinating. It's more even personalized. So when you know what genes you have, you can modify it and match your diet, nutrition that you need, and support your genes that you might have variations or mutations, match to the nutrients, exercise, even much to exercise, or much exercise to your genes, I would say, and much nutrition to your genes. So it's very fascinating, and I do have testing and consultation about that. So
Yeah, one of the things that I love about epigenetics is they have proven, yes, we're given a certain blueprint in our genetics, but that doesn't mean you have to get that disease. You control it by turning the switch on or leaving that switch off. And there are things you can do so that you don't get whatever that thing is that showed up in your genetics. And the bottom line is, yes, people and families do tend to get the same diseases, but it's not because it's in their genetics. It's because people and families have similar lifestyle habits, and so they get the same diseases. It's a complete flip in terms of the way we've been looking at medicine. And so it's really quite fascinating. And I'm sure it's going to bring us lots of new truths as they do more research in the field. So it's great that you're actually
yeah,
studying that and doing
very,
work with that with your
yeah, it's
clients.
very fascinating. Yes.
So, if you had one piece of wisdom you wanted to give to the people who have listened today, what would it be?
Listen to your body, and learn how to listen to your body.
And then I will put all of your links right under this podcast so that people can reach out and find you. I know you do a lot of one on one coaching, but I'm assuming your programs can be done at a distance as well.
Yes,
So
virtually.
that, yeah, I'll make sure that people know how to find you.
Yeah.
But you do have a huge advantage that you have the holistic and the medical background that could actually help people find solutions.
And
So
I
it's
have a free
fantastic.
consultation for people who are interested. I have 30 minutes free consultation, so you can find on my website as well.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. It's been a
Thank
great
you.
conversation. I really appreciate it. And I'll make sure I have all your links when this goes live.
Thank you, Cheryl. It was
Okay,
great.
thank you.